Hi guys, this is Ms.Hong. Today is March 26th, Thursday. Guys, I was so disappointed to your quiz grade. I know some of you got 100 on it, some of you got like 85, some of you got really good grade. But like, I still don't get like, some people got 0 or like 10, 15. You know what? And I told you there's unlimited chance to try again. And you just try once and your grade is 10% and you don't do it anymore. What is that? So you know what? I want to give you a second chance. So if you already got 100 yesterday, that's like less than 5 people. So I don't mind. So those people, you can just work on your ALEX path for today. And other people, even like someone who got 85, 75, I want you to do it again. Our class goes like above 90%. Alright? So today, I'm gonna go over a couple questions on the quiz. Not exactly the same thing, but similar type. You have this type of question on the quiz. So I'm gonna go over 3 problems and I want you to try it again. Alright? Okay. So number 1. So you have this kind of thing, guys. So the important part is you need to figure out what is your input and output. Alright? So look, this company is going transport, and it costs $5,500 to rent trucks, right? So anyway, that money you need to pay that, and plus $150 for each ton of sugar transported. So you got this function. They already gave it to you, right? So you have a function, and I want you to look at this one, guys. Total cost C and N tons of sugar, right? And look at this function. What is your input? What do you put and what do you get, right? What do you put? Look, you're plugging N, right? You're plugging what? Number of tons. So this is your input. So my input and tons, right, of sugar. So tons of sugar. Let's get rid of this N. So tons of sugar, right? And then your output. Your output will be, you put tons of sugar, then what do you get at the end? You get your final number represents the total cost, right? So that's your output. And you know what? Let's get the inverse function from here. So from this one, I want to find my inverse function. So let's start it like this. C equals 5,500 plus 150N. Alright? And then I want to solve it for N. Right? So let's get rid of this 5,500 and 150. So minus 5500 minus 5500. Then you get C minus 5500, right? Equals 150N. And I want to get N, so we need to get rid of this 150. So divided by 150 divided by 150, like this. So N equals C minus 5,500 divided by 150, right? So you get your inverse function. Then think about it, guys. From here, what is your input for this inverse function? Your input, that's C, right? Depends on C, whatever number you put C, you get the N. You get N value, right? So C is my input. So my input is C, which is total cost. And my output will be N, which is your number of tons, right? So tons of sugar. Tons of sugar. Right? So this is our basic setup. Alright? And for A, look, if the total cost is 9,000 $250. Then what do you think? Is it C or N? C is in dollar, N is in tones. You have dollar, right? Then that's definitely C, right? So you're plugging C, then which function will be better? This one or that one? You're plugging C. Then this is your input. C is the input from here, right? So I want you to use this one, your inverse function. So we can set it up like this. 9250. Let me use other color. $9,250 minus 5500 over 150. Okay, so you just calculate this number, then you will get the answer for this. Okay, and then for B, what is the total cost of transporting 13 tons? So this time, what do you have? 13 tons, right? Then where do you put this number? N or C? N, right? So you put 13 into N, right? So 13 into N. So I'm gonna use my original equation. So you do 5. So you do 5500 plus 150 times by 13. So you do this one for this. Alright? And this quiz, you can use a calculator over here. Right? When you press that one, you can do the calculator, so use that. And you know this button? That's an example. So if you get stuck, open this one, they will show you an example. So you can take a look and then you can apply that one to your question. Alright? So they didn't ask you find the inverse function, but you can find the inverse function to make it easier. Alright? And number 2, same problem. So look at this. A railroad crew can lay 5 miles of track each day. They need to lay 145 miles of track. The length L in miles that is left to lay after D days is given by the following function. So look, we have two variables, length L and D days, right? So they need to lay 145 miles in total. Each day they lay 5 miles, right? Then after 1 day, 140 left. After 2 days, 135 left, like that. So anyway, they already set up the function, so you don't have to find it. But because you have this 2 different question, I want to find my inverse, alright? I'm going to find my inverse. So from here, L equals 145 minus 5D, right? And then let's solve it for D. Then you do L minus 145, right? And then what? You cancel this and then you need to get rid of this negative 5. So you need to divide it by negative 5. All over negative 5. Then you get D, right? So you can get your inverse function over here, right? Oh, let's figure out input output for this. So your input, what's your input? You're putting D. You can just look at the inside of the parentheses. You're putting D. Depends on your days, right? So days. And then your output. Your output is length, right? The remaining. This remaining length. Hold on, my spell's weird. Remaining length, right? So this is your input and output. And look at this one. Then this one's opposite, right? Depends on your L, right? So your input is L. Your output D, right? And then let's look at this. How many days will it take the crew to lay all the track? Then guys, think about it. To lay all track. Then do you have any leftover or not? The crew lay all the track already. Then there's nothing left, right? So it will be 0. So L equals 0. And you want to find days, right? So what can we use? You're inputting L. So I'm going to use this function. Okay? Then you get 0 minus 145 over negative 5. So calculate this value. So that's same as negative 145 over negative 5, right? So calculate this value. Use a calculator, then you will get this days. Okay? And then look at B. How many miles of track does the crew have left to lay after 18 days? So look, what do you have? 18 days, right? Days, where do you need to put? Your input is days. So I want you to use that function. So you put 18 into D. Alright? 18 into D. So we do 145 minus 5 times 18. Alright? So you calculate this value, then that's the answer for this. Okay? So you can find the inverse function and you can use that. But if you know which one represents which variable, then you can just plug in the number. You don't need to find the inverse function actually. But when you get the inverse function, then that's kind of easier because you already know what that is, and then you just plug in the value for L or whatever your input. Okay? So let's try this one. So for this case, I'm not going to find the inverse function. Alright? I will just plug in the number. So I have the function over here. So $15 each time he travels the toll road. And he started with $240. And A is the money left in the account after T trips. So it's similar type, right? Depends on number of trips. The function represents the money left in the account. Alright? So you have, look at this. A, that's $1. T trips, right? And then this input is T, output is A. Right? And how much money does John have left in the account after 5 trips? Then guys, think about it. 5 trips. 5 trips. Then is it A or T? T, right? So you put 8 into T. Alright, 8 into T. So all you need to do is 240 minus 15 times 8 trips. And you calculate the number, you'll get the answer. Alright? And look at B. How many trips on the toll road can he take until his account is empty? So this kind of thing, they don't talk about the number, but you need to figure out what that is, right? Account is empty. Does he have money left in the account? No, no money left. Then what's the account money left? Nothing. So you just use 0 for A. Okay? So this kind of thing, probably you may have trouble with this. But when you read, when you understand the question, then you will get it. So A is 0. So what? You put 0 into A. So you set it up equation like that. So this case, I didn't find my inverse function, right? But you need to solve this equation. If you don't write the inverse function, then you need to solve the equation. If this is easier for you, then you can do this. So negative 240 equals negative 15t, right? And then you divide it by negative 15. Then you will get the answer for that. 240 divided by 15, then you get 16. So 16 trips. Okay? So please make sure your units and try again. I told you our class goal is 90%. Alright? So if you didn't get above 90 yesterday, then you need to do it again, guys, until you get 90. Alright? Good luck with you and see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye.